The universe is a storehouse of abundance. The gold, the silver, the jewels of fortune, all these are but symbols of the divine supply, ever waiting to pour forth into the hands of the one who knows. There is no shortage in the infinite. There is only the limitation of our own faith, the narrow door of our own expectation. To win the lottery is not a matter of luck. It is a matter of law, the law of attraction, of vibration, of fearless belief in the unseen good that already belongs to you. When you say, "It's time to win the lottery," you are not begging fate for a favor. You are making a claim upon the divine treasury. You are announcing to the universe, "I am ready for my good. I am prepared to receive the wealth that has been mine from the beginning of time." Every word you speak is a decree. Every thought you hold is a seed. If your words are words of doubt, you reap confusion. But if your words are words of certainty, words wrapped in faith and feeling, the universe rushes to fulfill your command. You must speak your desire as though it were already done. You must picture yourself with the winning ticket in your hand, the numbers flashing before your eyes, your heart calm and grateful, saying, "Of course, it could not have been otherwise." For when you believe that the door is open, the door must open. The subconscious mind, like a faithful servant, obeys the master thought. It does not reason. It creates according to the pattern you impress upon it. So let your pattern be prosperity. Let your feeling be joy. Let your word be faith. Do not think of the lottery as a distant miracle. Think of it as an answered prayer already waiting to be delivered. Money is not evil. It is divine energy taking form. It moves toward the one who blesses it, who expects it, who recognizes its sacred purpose. Cast out the thought of competition, of unworthiness, of delay. These are thieves that rob you of your demonstration. Instead, affirm silently, "Everything I need, everything I desire, comes to me easily, joyfully, and in perfect time." When you align with the law of abundance, even the smallest chance becomes certain. The wheel turns, the numbers fall, and the unseen forces of good rearrange themselves for your benefit. Feel it now. The vibration of wealth surrounds you, waiting for your word of command. The very cells of your being respond to the idea of plenty. The world mirrors your consciousness, and when your consciousness says, "I am rich in spirit," the material proof must follow. The outer world is but a reflection of the inner decree. Therefore, do not seek to win merely the lottery of money. Seek to win the lottery of faith, of gratitude, of divine knowing. For when your spirit is rich, when your heart sings the song of abundance, every ticket you touch, every door you open, becomes the doorway to your good. To speak your desire as a divine decree, not a wish, is to understand the hidden law of manifestation that governs all creation. The spoken word is a force, a living vibration that moves through the invisible and shapes the visible. When you speak from authority, you command the universe to align with your word. When you speak as one uncertain, pleading, or hoping, you confess separation from your own power. A wish comes from lack, but a decree comes from knowing. The one who decrees does not hope to receive. They know they already have. The decree is not a request to the divine, it is the voice of the divine itself speaking through you. To decree is to recognize that the power that created worlds also lives within your own consciousness, waiting for your command. Most people approach their desires as beggars before a throne. They say, "I hope I will have this," or "maybe one day it will come to me." These words carry the vibration of uncertainty. They announce to the universe, "I do not have what I desire." And because the law of mind is perfect, it returns to them exactly what they send forth: more wanting, more delay, more proof of absence. The decree, however, reverses this current. It speaks from completion, from faith, from the center of divine certainty. When one says, "I now receive my good," or "it is done," one sets in motion the spiritual machinery that brings the invisible into form. The decree does not argue with appearances. It commands them to change. To speak as a divine creator, you must first silence the voice of fear and doubt that whispers within. That voice is the echo of the old self, the limited self, the one that believes it is powerless. But the truth is that you are an emanation of infinite intelligence, a spark of the eternal flame, and the words you speak carry the creative essence of that power. Every affirmation, every statement of belief is a seed planted in the garden of the subconscious mind. When you decree with confidence, that seed germinates instantly, drawing to itself everything required for its fulfillment. You may not see it at once, but the law is already working. Invisible hands are rearranging conditions to reflect your spoken word. To decree rightly, you must feel the truth of your statement. Words alone, without emotion or belief, are hollow sounds that drift away. The decree is effective only when it is spoken with conviction, with a sense of divine authority. It must be charged with faith. When you declare, "I am prosperous now," it is not enough to repeat the words mechanically. You must feel prosperity vibrating in your being. You must imagine the warmth of abundance surrounding you, the ease and joy of wealth already manifest. Feel it so strongly that every doubt fades into nothingness. In that feeling lies the magnetic power that draws fulfillment to you. The divine decree does not depend on circumstances, time, or probability. It operates above reason because it proceeds from the spiritual realm where all things are already complete. When you decree, you speak from that higher plane, bringing divine order into material expression. You do not ask how it will happen. You know that the way will reveal itself once the word is spoken. The decree is the key that unlocks the invisible storehouse. It is the bridge between the seen and the unseen, the instrument through which divine supply becomes visible abundance. Every prophet, every teacher of truth, has used this law, whether consciously or intuitively. They spoke with authority because they understood the creative nature of the word. Your decree must also be consistent. You cannot affirm one day and deny the next, for contradiction scatters the power of your word. The subconscious mind is obedient but literal. It cannot act on conflicting commands. Speak only that which you desire to manifest, and let your words be steady and unwavering. When negative thoughts arise, do not give them voice. Replace them at once with the opposite affirmation. Say, "Divine order is now established in my life." Say, "Every obstacle is dissolved in light." Say, "My wealth flows freely and without effort." Each repetition strengthens the pattern until your consciousness becomes the mold through which divine substance pours into form. To speak as a decree requires faith not in chance, but in divine law. It means understanding that every condition in your life has been called forth by your own spoken or unspoken word. The same power that created limitation can create liberation. The same voice that said, "I cannot," can now say, "I can, I will, I have." There is no external authority withholding your good. The gate is opened by your own declaration. You are not separate from the source. You are its expression, its instrument. When you decree abundance, love, success, or health, you are not demanding something foreign. You are claiming your natural inheritance as a child of the infinite. Speaking your desire as a divine decree also transforms your relationship to life itself. You cease to drift through experience as a passive observer and become a conscious creator. You no longer wait for signs or omens, you become the sign. You no longer wonder whether fortune will favor you. You realize that fortune is merely the reflection of your inner command. The decree places you in alignment with the rhythm of creation, where thought and word are one. It eliminates the sense of struggle, for you know that what you decree must come to pass. The universe does not question your authority, it mirrors your conviction. To live by decree is to live by spiritual law. Every master of manifestation has known this truth, that the word spoken in faith is the most powerful force in existence. When you speak from your higher self, your words carry the vibration of creation itself. They move through the ethers, touching minds, opening doors, shifting circumstances, drawing resources. What the outer world calls coincidence is nothing more than the outworking of your decree. You say it, you feel it, you know it, and the world reshapes itself accordingly. The decree is not repetition, it is realization spoken aloud. To decree is also an act of gratitude. When you speak your desire as fulfilled, you are giving thanks in advance. You are acknowledging the abundance of the universe before it appears in form. Gratitude seals the decree, for it tells the subconscious that the matter is settled. It tells the universe that you trust its timing and its method. You are not anxious, you are not doubtful. You are already in possession of your good in consciousness. The feeling of gratitude carries the same frequency as completion, and completion attracts manifestation. Thus, every decree should be accompanied by a sense of peace and joy, as though the desire were already achieved. The spoken decree must be simple, clear, and affirmative. Avoid words of negation or struggle. Do not say, "I am not poor," for the mind will picture poverty. Say instead, "I am rich in every way." Do not say, "I will be free from debt," for that affirms the debt. Say, "All my financial obligations are dissolved in divine order." Speak only what you wish to experience. Let your words build the image of your desired reality, and that reality will crystallize around you. The divine law cannot fail, for it is exact, impartial, and responsive to consciousness. What you decree in faith must appear in form, because spirit cannot contradict itself. The difference between a wish and a decree is the difference between weakness and power. A wish looks outward for validation. A decree looks inward to truth. A wish says, "If only this could happen," while a decree says, "This is so, now." The wish is rooted in separation, the decree is rooted in unity. The wish hesitates, the decree commands. The wish wavers in the winds of doubt, but the decree stands unmoved in the stillness of knowing. To decree is to speak with the voice of God within you, the creative word that was in the beginning and through which all things were made. When you understand this, you will guard your words as sacred tools of creation, speaking only that which you desire to bring forth, and the world will answer you in kind. To align thought, word, and feeling with abundance is to bring the entire being into harmony with the rhythm of divine supply. It is not enough to think of wealth while speaking of lack, nor to speak of prosperity while feeling fear. The creative law of the universe responds not merely to words, but to vibration. And vibration is born of unity between mind, speech, and emotion. When these three are in agreement, the power that shapes worlds begins to move on your behalf. The moment you think abundance, speak abundance, and feel abundance, you become a living magnet to it. You are no longer asking for prosperity, you are radiating it. And the universe, being a mirror, must return that which you radiate. Thought is the seed, word is the declaration, and feeling is the life that causes the seed to grow. A thought without feeling is a shadow. A word without belief is a sound without meaning. An emotion without direction is wasted energy. The true secret of manifestation lies in their alignment. To align them is to center yourself in the knowing that abundance is already yours. You must first think the thought of plenty with calm assurance, then give that thought form through your spoken word, and finally infuse it with the warmth of feeling until it vibrates through your whole being. The universe feels through you what you claim is true. When the feeling of abundance becomes natural, effortless, and genuine, the outer world must rearrange itself to match that inner frequency. The mind is the architect of experience, but it can only build with the material provided by belief and emotion. Every time you think of shortage, every time you speak of difficulty, you are giving the mind a blueprint of limitation. The subconscious mind then constructs life according to that pattern. To align with abundance, you must consciously design new blueprints. Thoughts of success, words of affirmation, emotions of joy. Begin each day by declaring mentally, "I live in an abundant universe. All that I desire flows to me with ease." Speak these words with the authority of truth and let the feeling of their reality rise within you. The more your thought, word, and feeling harmonize around this idea, the more swiftly your outer life transforms to reflect it. Alignment is a spiritual art. It cannot be forced, but it can be cultivated through awareness. When you notice a thought of doubt, do not resist it. Instead, gently replace it with its opposite. Say within, I choose to think abundance. When your words begin to express worry, stop and rephrase them. Instead of saying, I can't afford that, say, the means to enjoy this are already on their way. When a feeling of lack tries to enter, breathe deeply and recall a moment of gratitude. A moment when you felt cared for, supported, and secure. Let that memory warm you until your vibration rises again. By practicing this harmony between mind, word, and emotion, you train your consciousness to stay attuned to the frequency of plenty. Feeling is the magnet that attracts. Thought and speech set the direction, but feeling provides the current. If your words speak wealth but your emotions tremble with fear, the fear will override the word. The universe reads vibration more clearly than language. Therefore, your goal is not to repeat words without conviction, but to make them real within yourself. Speak abundance until it becomes your natural tone. Think of plenty until your heart accepts it as truth. Act and feel as one who already possesses what they seek. When your thoughts are prosperous, your words affirming, and your feelings joyous, you enter into the flow of the divine supply that never ceases. This alignment also dissolves inner conflict. So many people hold two opposing beliefs at once. They say they want wealth but secretly feel unworthy of it. They affirm success but carry guilt over desiring more. Such contradictions split the current of power. The law can only respond to a unified vibration. To align yourself with abundance, release all ideas of unworthiness. Know that abundance is the natural expression of divine life. Just as the sun shines without apology, so too are you meant to shine in prosperity. The universe does not ration its good, it overflows. You are a vessel of that overflow, and the degree to which you accept it determines how much you receive. To keep thought, word, and feeling aligned, you must live consciously. Every statement you make, every emotion you allow, every idea you entertain is either strengthening or weakening your connection with abundance. Speak only those words that build faith. Think only those thoughts that expand your vision. Feel only those emotions that harmonize with joy, gratitude, and peace. If you slip, do not condemn yourself. Simply return to the truth. Say, I choose again. I choose alignment. I choose abundance. Each time you choose, you reinforce the new vibration until it becomes your permanent state. The spoken word acts as the bridge between thought and manifestation. It gives direction to energy. When you say, I am prosperous, you are instructing life itself to manifest prosperity through you. But the power of the word depends upon the feeling behind it. You cannot speak abundance from a heart filled with fear and expect results. The heart must agree with the lips, and the mind must support both. When you think abundance, speak it with joy, and feel it as truth, you invoke the divine law in its fullness. Every cell of your being becomes a prayer, every breath a declaration of plenty. Life responds in kind, because life is obedient to consciousness. It is important to remember that abundance is not only about material wealth. It is the awareness of sufficiency in all things: love, time, opportunity, creativity, health. When you align your thought, word, and feeling with abundance, you open yourself to receive from countless directions. The money may come, but so may new ideas, new friendships, new paths that lead to fulfillment. The form of abundance may vary, but the essence is always the same: the feeling of being supplied, supported, and satisfied. When you feel that essence sincerely, the material symbols of abundance appear effortlessly. Many people attempt to manifest wealth by affirming prosperity while secretly fearing poverty. Their minds are divided. They think of plenty in the morning but complain by noon. They speak positive words, yet feel anxious about bills. This inner conflict blocks the flow of supply. True alignment requires consistency. Think abundance, speak abundance, feel abundance, continuously, naturally, until it becomes your atmosphere. When alignment is complete, manifestation is inevitable. The outer must follow the inner, as surely as a shadow follows the body. The key to sustaining this alignment is gratitude. Gratitude harmonizes thought, word, and emotion into a single frequency of appreciation. When you are grateful, you automatically think abundance, speak blessing, and feel joy. Gratitude dissolves fear and opens the channels through which more can flow. Each time you give thanks for what you already have, you affirm your unity with the infinite source of supply. You become a living expression of divine wealth, and the universe rushes to multiply that vibration. When you align your thought, word, and feeling with abundance, you cease to chase prosperity, you become it. You no longer wait for good fortune, you generate it from within. Your very presence begins to influence circumstances in your favor, because your vibration of wholeness magnetizes opportunity. Those who meet you feel uplifted, situations unfold with ease, and resources arrive at the perfect time. You realize that abundance is not something you acquire, it is something you allow. The alignment is the allowing. It is the open gate through which the river of supply flows unceasingly. This alignment is the mastery of consciousness. It is not achieved by struggle but by surrender to truth. The truth is that you are already connected to infinite wealth, and that connection is maintained through harmony between your thoughts, your words, and your emotions. When these are one, the divine current moves freely through you, creating visible results in every area of life. You live in effortless flow, for your inner and outer worlds are in perfect agreement. Your mind believes in abundance, your lips speak its name, and your heart feels its reality. And that trinity of power becomes the creative force that draws to you every good thing that exists in the universe. To eliminate doubt and affirm unwavering faith is to cleanse the inner channel through which divine supply flows. Doubt is the shadow that blocks the sunlight of truth, the whisper that questions what the soul already knows. Faith is the golden key that unlocks every door, the silent assurance that what you have spoken in divine authority must come to pass. When doubt lingers in the mind, the flow of manifestation is delayed, for the creative law cannot act through a divided consciousness. You cannot believe and disbelieve at the same time. One must yield to the other. To manifest abundance, love, or success, the heart must stand firm in its conviction that the universe is faithful, generous, and unfailing in its response to belief. Doubt is born from appearances, from the evidence of the senses that contradicts the truth of spirit. The world of form may seem barren, the bank account may appear empty, the opportunity invisible, and yet the spiritual law remains unchanged. What you perceive as lack is only the outer echo of an inner uncertainty. The moment you affirm faith and hold to it, the outer must rearrange itself to reflect that certainty. To eliminate doubt, you must stop giving attention to what is missing and turn your gaze toward what is promised. Every moment spent in worry strengthens the appearance of limitation, but every moment spent in faith strengthens the unseen power that dissolves it. You are not asked to understand how your good will come, only to know that it will. Faith is not blind, it is visionary. It sees beyond appearances into the reality of divine completion. It knows that before you ask, it is given. The one who walks in faith speaks as though the miracle were already accomplished. They do not plead or question, they decree with calm assurance. Faith does not depend upon signs or proofs, for it is itself the evidence of things unseen. When you affirm unwavering faith, you anchor your consciousness in the eternal now, where all possibilities exist. You cease to oscillate between belief and disbelief, between hope and fear. The wavering mind scatters its power, but the mind fixed in faith gathers its energy into a beam so strong that nothing can resist it. To eliminate doubt, you must first recognize it. Doubt often disguises itself as logic, as caution, as common sense. It whispers that you must be realistic, that things take time, that it is safer not to expect too much. But these voices are not wisdom. They are the echoes of past disappointment. The truth is that your only limitation is belief in limitation. Doubt feeds upon memory, Faith feeds upon revelation. Each time you listen to doubt, you reinforce the walls that confine you. Each time you speak faith, you dissolve them. The practice of affirming faith is not denial of reality. It is the creation of a higher reality that replaces the lower one. You are not ignoring the facts. You are commanding them to transform through divine law. Words are the instruments of faith. When you speak affirmations of truth, you imprint them upon your subconscious mind, which in turn directs universal energy to fulfill them. Speak words that lift, that heal, that strengthen your belief. Say, divine substance is my constant supply. Say, every need is already met. Say, my faith is unshakable. Repeat them until they sink beyond intellect into feeling. The subconscious does not respond to logic. It responds to repetition and emotion. Each time you speak faith in the face of doubt, you rewrite the pattern of your consciousness. The more you do so, the weaker doubt becomes, until it dissolves completely in the light of certainty. Faith must be fed daily, just as the body must be nourished. Read words that inspire. Dwell upon images of success. Surround yourself with reminders of divine abundance. Each small act of faith, every time you choose trust over fear, adds to your reservoir of spiritual power. In time, that reservoir overflows, and you find yourself calm even amid uncertainty. You no longer react to appearances because you have proven through experience that appearances change, but truth remains. When you are rooted in unwavering faith, the storms of circumstance cannot move you. You stand still, and in that stillness, the power of the infinite works through you. To cultivate unwavering faith, practice gratitude for what you have already received. Gratitude reinforces faith because it focuses attention on abundance rather than lack. Every time you give thanks, you declare that the law is working, that supply is flowing. This quiet assurance multiplies the good you already possess and magnetizes more of it to you. Doubt cannot live in a heart filled with gratitude. Where there is appreciation, fear cannot enter. The act of blessing what you have transforms the vibration of your being, until you become a channel through which divine wealth can easily flow. Faith also requires imagination. You must see your desire as fulfilled before it appears. The mind must hold the picture clearly, vividly, persistently, for the subconscious mind creates according to the images impressed upon it. When doubt intrudes, replace it at once with the mental picture of success. See yourself receiving the good you desire. Feel it, smell it, hear it. Engage all the senses in your inner vision until it becomes more real than the outer world. This is not fantasy, it is spiritual creation. The outer world is only a shadow of the inner. By sustaining faith in your vision, you give it substance and call it into form. To affirm unwavering faith, speak with authority. The divine within you does not beg, it commands. When you declare, I know that divine abundance is mine now, say it as one who speaks a truth that cannot be reversed. Do not look for evidence immediately. The evidence will follow the declaration, not precede it. Every law of creation operates in silence before it becomes visible. The farmer does not dig up the seed each day to see if it is growing. He trusts the process. In the same way, faith rests in calm assurance, knowing that its decree has been heard and fulfilled in the unseen. Doubt agitates, but faith rests. Faith is quiet strength, unhurried and undisturbed, because it knows that divine timing is perfect. Eliminating doubt does not mean suppressing human emotion. It means mastering it through awareness. When fear arises, observe it without judgment, and then remind yourself that fear is only faith inverted. It is belief in the power of evil rather than the power of good. Turn it around by declaring, there is only one power, and that power works for my good. Speak this until the fear dissolves. Every affirmation of truth reclaims territory once occupied by doubt. Each time you choose faith over fear, you raise your vibration, and at that higher vibration, doubt cannot exist. Unwavering faith is not passive, it is active trust. It is the inner knowing that moves you to take inspired action when the moment arrives. When faith is strong, guidance becomes clear, intuition sharpens, and opportunities appear naturally. You are led step by step toward your desired outcome, not through struggle, but through divine order. Doubt creates confusion and hesitation, but faith produces clarity and movement. When you act in faith, every door opens at the right time, and what once seemed impossible becomes inevitable. To live without doubt is to live in oneness with the divine principle that governs all creation. You are no longer swayed by external conditions or dependent upon the opinions of others. You trust the invisible law more than visible circumstances. You know that the same power that guides the stars and renews the seasons guides you also. This realization gives rise to peace, a peace so deep that even when appearances contradict your desire, you remain unmoved. A peace so deep that even when appearances contradict your desire, you remain unmoved. That peace itself is proof that your manifestation is near, for peace is the vibration of completion. To affirm unwavering faith, you must keep your attention upon what is true, not upon what is temporary. Appearances are transient shadows. Truth is eternal. When you hold to the truth long enough, the shadows must change form to match it. Every prayer, every affirmation, every moment of silent trust adds invisible weight to the side of manifestation. Eventually, the scale tips, and what was unseen becomes seen. Faith is the persistence of vision until it becomes reality. It is the quiet insistence that the unseen good is more real than the seen lack. To eliminate doubt and affirm unwavering faith is to master the art of spiritual certainty. It is to know that you are one with the creative principle of the universe and that your word, spoken in conviction, carries the same authority as that principle. The only obstacle is disbelief, and disbelief is only the absence of recognition. When you remember who you are, an instrument of divine creation, doubt loses all power. Faith becomes your natural state, your constant atmosphere, your unshakable foundation. From that state, every desire is fulfilled, every need met, every good revealed. For faith is the substance of things hoped for, and the evidence of things not seen. To visualize the outcome as already accomplished is to participate in the creative process as a conscious co-creator with the divine. Imagination is not fantasy, it is the workshop of the soul where substance takes shape before it becomes visible. Everything that exists in form first existed as an image in mind, and the clearer and more vivid that image, the faster it moves from the invisible into manifestation. To visualize is to mold divine substance into pattern. The unseen responds to mental pictures as surely as clay responds to the hands of the sculptor. When you see your desire is fulfilled and feel the reality of that vision within you, you set in motion forces that cannot be stopped. The universe begins to rearrange itself to match the pattern you have impressed upon your consciousness. Visualization is the language of faith. It bridges the gap between thought and reality, turning abstract intention into emotional conviction. The mind must have an image to hold, for it creates according to the picture presented to it. When you visualize your desired outcome as already done, you are communicating with the creative law in its own tongue. You are saying, "This is the pattern I choose to experience," and the law, being impersonal and obedient, must reproduce it. Every clear mental picture is a command to universal intelligence. The clearer the image and the stronger the feeling, the more rapid the manifestation. Therefore, you must cultivate the habit of seeing the good you desire as though it were happening now. Not tomorrow, not in some distant future, but here and now in this very moment of consciousness. To visualize effectively, you must first quiet the outer mind. The imagination works best in stillness, free from the chatter of reason and doubt. Close your eyes and turn inward. Breathe deeply and release all tension. In this calm state, form the image of your fulfilled desire. See it as a completed reality. If you are visualizing wealth, imagine yourself already in possession of it. See your environment reflecting that abundance. Your home radiant with beauty, your affairs running smoothly, your heart at peace. If you are visualizing health, see your body strong and vibrant, moving freely with energy and ease. Feel the joy of well-being as though it were already yours. The power of visualization lies not merely in the picture itself, but in the feeling that accompanies it. The feeling is the magnet. It gives life to the image. You must enter the picture as though you were living it now. Do not see yourself as a distant observer. See through your own eyes as the one who already possesses the good. Look around in your imagination, touch the objects, hear the sounds, feel the atmosphere of success and satisfaction. Engage all your senses. The more real it feels within, the sooner it will become real without. You are training your subconscious to accept this vision as fact, and the subconscious, once impressed, sets in motion every means necessary to bring it about. It will inspire ideas, attract people, and arrange circumstances in precise harmony with the mental image you hold steadfastly. Visualization is the opposite of wishing. Wishing says, "I hope it will happen." Visualization says, "It is happening now." When you imagine your desire as distant or difficult, you push it away. When you see it as complete, you draw it near. The law of attraction operates through resemblance. Like attracts like. When your inner world matches the state you desire, the outer world must mirror it. To visualize success is to plant the seed of success in the soil of the subconscious. That seed must grow into its own likeness, for the law cannot be broken. Your task is not to make the seed grow, but to protect it from the weeds of doubt and fear by continuing to see only the desired result. Do not be concerned with how your visualization will be fulfilled. The how belongs to the divine intelligence that orchestrates all things with perfect precision. Your part is to maintain the image and the feeling of its reality. When you try to control the method, you interfere with the process. Trust that the infinite mind knows the shortest, most harmonious path to your good. Your work is to remain faithful to the picture, no matter what appearances may suggest. Appearances are temporary. The vision is eternal. Hold the vision, and the appearances will conform. Consistency is essential. The subconscious mind responds to repetition and emotion. You must visit your vision daily, ideally at the same time each day, until it becomes second nature. Each session deepens the impression, strengthening the vibration of certainty. When you visualize, do not strain or force the image. Allow it to unfold gently, like a dream you are fully aware of, yet completely immersed in. The more relaxed your state, the more receptive your mind becomes. Relaxation opens the gateway between conscious and subconscious, allowing the image to sink deeply and take root. As the image takes root, your outer actions begin to align naturally with its fulfillment. You will find yourself making choices, taking steps, and meeting people that move you closer to your vision without effort. Visualization works not by manipulating external forces, but by transforming your own state of consciousness. As within, so without. When your inner world reflects completion, your outer world must follow. The law is exact, it never fails. When you hold the vision of abundance, you begin to feel abundant. And that feeling changes everything about your vibration. Your tone of voice, your posture, your energy, your magnetism, the world feels this shift and responds. Opportunities appear because you have become the person who naturally attracts them. Visualization, therefore, is not pretending. It is remembering the truth of your divine potential and embodying it before the world confirms it. You must also purify your imagination from images of failure or fear. Every time you picture yourself as defeated or deprived, you are visualizing against your own good. The subconscious does not distinguish between what is wanted and what is feared. It simply reproduces the image held with feeling. Guard your inner eye. When negative pictures arise, replace them immediately with the vision of your desired outcome. Do not fight the unwanted image. Transform it. If you see yourself in lack, instantly picture yourself surrounded by plenty. If you see yourself ill, imagine light flowing through your body, restoring every cell to perfection. The imagination is plastic, it will take the form you give it. When you visualize the outcome as already accomplished, your words and feelings begin to harmonize with that reality. You speak as one who knows rather than hopes. You feel gratitude as though the gift were already received. Gratitude is the emotional seal of completion. It tells the subconscious that the work is finished, that the manifestation is inevitable. Live in that feeling throughout the day. Whenever doubt arises, return to your mental picture and dwell in it for a moment. See it, feel it, believe it, and doubt will fade like mist under sunlight. The repeated act of returning to your vision strengthens the current of creation until it becomes unbreakable. Imagination is the doorway through which spirit expresses itself in form. The universe does not distinguish between what you imagine and what you experience. To the deeper mind, both are real. Therefore, you must imagine wisely and deliberately. The person who pictures success with faith will live success. The one who pictures failure with fear will live failure. The law is impartial. To visualize the outcome as already accomplished is to align with the creative law consciously rather than unconsciously. It is to direct the river of life instead of being carried by it. You are always visualizing something. The question is whether you are doing so consciously and with purpose. Let your visualization be pure, joyful, and filled with love. Love gives power to the image because it is the essence of all creation. When you love the vision, you breathe life into it. The more love you feel for your desired good, the more quickly it will manifest. For love is the highest vibration of faith. Love your prosperity, love your health, love your success, as though they were living companions already with you. Speak to them in gratitude, bless them, and they will draw nearer. The unseen responds to love as flowers respond to sunlight, opening and unfolding until the invisible becomes visible, and what was once only a vision stands before you in radiant form. To recognize money as sacred energy, not chance, is to transform the way you relate to prosperity itself. Money is not a random favor granted by luck or circumstance. It is a visible expression of invisible law, a current of divine energy that flows through form to support the rhythm of creation. Every coin, every note, every opportunity is spirit clothed in substance. When you see money as sacred, you lift it from the realm of fear and grasping into the realm of gratitude and flow. You cease to chase it, manipulate it, or worry about it because you understand it as a reflection of your consciousness. Money does not come by accident or chance. It comes through vibration, through alignment with the principle of supply that governs all things. The moment you honor it as divine energy, you become its natural steward, and it begins to multiply through you effortlessly. Money is the symbol of exchange, an instrument through which divine ideas circulate. It is not good or evil, it is neutral, taking on the quality of the consciousness that handles it. When used in fear, it breeds anxiety and limitation. When used in love and purpose, it becomes a blessing, a force of healing and expansion. The sacred view of money recognizes it not as a master, but as a servant. It serves the divine plan of good when directed by wisdom and faith. To see it as sacred energy is to see through the outer form into the essence, the living current of universal abundance that animates all things. You are not separate from this current. You are part of its flow. When you bless it, it blesses you. When you condemn it, you block its movement. To treat money as sacred, you must first purify your thoughts about it. Many people unconsciously hold feelings of guilt, fear, or resentment toward money. They believe it to be corrupt, difficult to obtain, or unequally distributed. These beliefs create a vibration of separation and repel the very substance they seek. The truth is that money responds to love, gratitude, and respect. If you see it as divine energy, you no longer fear its loss, for energy cannot be lost. It only changes form. You no longer hoard it, for energy must circulate to remain alive. You no longer chase it, for energy flows toward harmony, not desperation. Instead, you become a conductor through which divine substance moves freely. The more freely it flows through you, the more abundantly it returns. Money, when understood spiritually, is the outer form of faith in action. It is the tangible proof of the unseen law of supply. Every time you receive or give money, you are participating in a sacred exchange of energy. Giving opens the channel for receiving, and receiving completes the circuit of giving. When you give freely and joyfully, knowing that you are a vessel of infinite supply, you signal to the universe that you trust its abundance. That trust magnetizes more. When you give reluctantly or in fear, you constrict the flow and invite stagnation. The secret is not in the amount given or received, but in the consciousness with which you give and receive. A single dollar offered in faith and love carries more creative power than 1,000 given in anxiety or obligation. To recognize money as sacred energy also means to see it as a teacher. It mirrors your beliefs about yourself and your worth. If you believe yourself undeserving, your finances will reflect that sense of lack. If you honor your own divine nature, your prosperity will reflect that honor. Money is honest. It reveals without judgment where your faith lies. If you live in fear of not having enough, it will echo that fear. If you rest in the knowing that infinite supply supports you, it will echo that knowing. Therefore, to change your financial condition, you must change your inner relationship to money. Begin to bless it each time you handle it. Bless the flow of it into your life and the flow of it out. See every transaction as a movement of divine substance, circulating for the highest good of all. The vibration you hold toward money determines how it responds to you. If you treat it as chance, it behaves like chance, unpredictable and fleeting. If you treat it as sacred, it behaves with order and harmony. The person who says, "I never know where my money goes," is affirming confusion and will experience confusion. The one who says, "Every dollar I touch multiplies in divine order," is affirming law and will experience order. Money listens to the tone of your thought. It seeks the vibration of gratitude, clarity, and joy. When you speak of it as difficult, it becomes difficult. When you speak of it as flowing, it flows. When you call it sacred, it rises in vibration and becomes a tool for expansion, service, and peace. You must also recognize that abundance does not come from human sources alone. People, jobs, businesses, or clients are channels, not sources. The source is infinite and inexhaustible, expressing itself through countless forms. When one channel closes, another opens instantly, if you remain in faith. To believe that your supply depends upon one avenue is to shrink the limitless into limitation. When you see money as sacred energy, you release dependency on any single form. You know that divine substance can reach you in infinite ways. You trust the process and remain calm even when appearances shift. Money becomes a friend, a partner in creation, rather than a master to fear or a prize to chase. To hold money as sacred is to use it consciously. Every expenditure should carry an intention of blessing. When you pay for something, say silently, "This money blesses all who touch it, and returns to me multiplied." When you receive money, say, "This money is divine energy expressing abundance." Such affirmations charge your actions with spiritual power. They remind you that you are not engaging in mere commerce, but in sacred circulation. This consciousness transforms ordinary exchange into prayer. It elevates the mundane into the miraculous. The more reverently you treat money, the more reverently it treats you. Fear of losing money is one of the greatest blocks to prosperity. That fear comes from believing that money is limited, that once it leaves your hands it may not return. But energy must return, for that is its nature. When you release money with joy, it comes back through unexpected channels. The universe must balance every act of giving. When you trust this rhythm, you move beyond scarcity consciousness. You live in the knowing that your wealth is not in numbers, but in the divine current flowing through your life. Numbers may fluctuate, but the current never ceases. You can feel rich even when the figures are small, because richness is a vibration, not a statistic. That vibration eventually manifests as visible prosperity, for the outer must align with the inner. To see money as sacred energy is also to detach it from personal identity. You are not your bank account, your possessions, or your earnings. You are the consciousness through which divine substance expresses. When you identify with spirit rather than form, you gain mastery over the material. Money becomes a servant of your higher purpose. It supports your vision, your creativity, your contribution. It becomes a channel of blessing, extending good into the world. The sacred steward of wealth understands that money's highest function is to circulate light, to uplift, to heal, to build, to inspire. In such hands, money becomes a form of prayer in action. There is no randomness in the flow of money. Every dollar follows consciousness. To attribute wealth or poverty to luck is to deny the law. Chance is the language of those who have forgotten the order of spirit. The spiritually awakened one knows that everything unfolds according to vibration. The person who radiates confidence, gratitude, and generosity attracts supply because they are attuned to its frequency. The one who radiates fear and resentment repels it, for their energy contradicts the flow. When you realize this, you stop playing the game of chance and begin practicing the art of alignment. You no longer hope to win, you expect to receive. You no longer gamble with your fortune, you guide it through awareness and faith. Every time you handle money, think of it as light. See it shining, vibrating, alive with divine purpose. Feel gratitude that it passes through your hands, even if only for a moment. Send it forth with a blessing, knowing that it carries your vibration into the world. When it returns, it will bring that vibration multiplied. The person who lives this truth never lacks, for they live in harmony with the law of circulation. Money ceases to be a struggle and becomes a song, a rhythm of giving and receiving, a dance between spirit and form. To recognize it as sacred energy is to live above the realm of luck, beyond the illusion of scarcity, in the clear knowing that divine substance moves through you eternally, seeking only expression through the consciousness of one who understands its holiness.